What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So the Bachelorette Jenn season, episode 5, just aired last night. Let's go over everything that happened, what we think going forward as we're about at the halfway point in terms of episodes going into the rest of the season, and everything we thought about the episode. So last week we left off on a cliffhanger with Jenn's ex flying halfway across the world, showing up for a chance at dating Jenn, a chance at love with Jenn, and a chance to join the show. Based on the trailers, it seems like at least he'll be making an appearance at the rose ceremony cocktail party. Will he actually stick around after that, though? To be determined. But before we jump into the episode, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down below for more content going forward for the rest of this Bachelorette season and future seasons going ahead, and a bunch of other stuff on the channel. So diving right in, no preview, just dive right into the cocktail party. Everyone's vibing well, looking to keep it drama free tonight. Dylan says this might be the first cocktail party with absolutely no drama, and just hold up one second there, my guy Dylan. Jesse shows up to talk to Jenn to figure out what she's gonna do. She had no idea Matt had felt this way about her. Says him saying he loved her has her even more confused. Jenn tells the guys that her ex flew halfway across the world and wants to join this journey. She said she needs to go talk with him and she'll be right back. Everyone's pretty upset, so Matt shows up. Him and Jenn sit outside and chat for a minute. She asks why now. Says he saw things in her and just kind of grew over time and, knew that this was kind of now or never, that she'd be leaving here engaged. Devin says if Matt, Jenn's ex, doesn't leave, then he's leaving, and this goes as far to say if she walks in with him, this rose means nothing. Matt walks in, seems like he's going to be joining the cast, but he ends up just wishing them well because she said that her future is in that room. Of course, Sam, being an idiot, says he's glad this past will stay in the past. Was being pretty cordial here and just saying, hey, to be honest, didn't come here to ruffle any feathers or anything, just came for a shot at a girl that I liked, and, Sam just kind of rubs that in his face, so, yeah, I get being upset, about, time being possibly taken away from you, but you can just be, kind as the guy is leaving. Clearly Jenn sent him packing, so, but that just seems like it's Sam, at least from the edit, could be a great guy, but just from the edit that we've seen on the TV show, we don't know any of these people, but that's just what it seems like. But we're going to have no cocktail party, straight to the rose ceremony. John and Thomas go home, so there's only 9 guys left now. Next day, Jonathan gets the one-on-one. He's scared of heights, so naturally, they're going on a helicopter ride. He gets out of the car and's like, what is it with you and heights? Jenn says how they haven't got to that vulnerable level yet and hoping to get there today. They have a goofy, fun time doing cartwheels, playing hide-and-go-seek through a vineyard. Jonathan is worried, though, if it's just friendly, but he's hoping to get past that fun and friendly phase, as so is Jenn. At the dinner portion, Jonathan says how he has a tough time opening up because it's hard for him to trust if someone is truly who they say they are. Tells about how he was dating someone and she struggled with alcohol abuse, and how she snapped one day and used all of these horrible words towards him and tore him down. And as someone who grew up a helpless romantic, this kind of just crushed him. As he says, Jenn feels where he's coming from, being gaslit and dealing with her toxic ex. Back at the hotel, the group date card does come. Grant gets the one-on-one. Jenn and Jonathan had a good night, made a lot of growth, it feels like, as she gives him the rose from the one-on-one date. As they're kissing, rain comes pouring down for that awesome classic rom-com shot. So the next day, we jump ahead to the group date. A bunch of sheep show up, and for the date, they're going to herd the sheep through the gate, and one lucky blight will get extra name with the Bachelorette. As the nice New Zealand man and his wife, who own the sheep farm that they are at, said, and it's just pandemonium. They're trying to herd the sheep into the gate. None of them are obviously listening. They're just running, jumping. The funny part is no one opened the gate, so that could be a also reason why they don't know where they're herding the sheep. The guy says not a lot of intelligence not to open the gate, so I appreciate his just saying it how it is. Now they're dealing with some mud or poop, shoveling it into a bucket. Jenn is looking for someone to, kind of make it a nice little moment for her, during this group date rose, as, most leads usually are. So Devin makes a little moment with her, and obviously the guys are not happy. Sam says it was a sign of disrespect. I wish this beef would just seems kind of silly at this point, going on week, this is episode 5, and we're going on episode 5. of the same beef between the same two guys. Now they have to get dingleberries off of the sheep's bottom and getting some of the sheep's wool and drinking weird milk. But Devin gets the best farm award and gets some extra time with Jenn. Guys are obviously not happy, but we jump ahead to the night portion. Jeremy is able to open up and have a more serious conversation, talking about his college experience and then growing up some. Austin gets a convo with Jenn and says he has a decision to make. Don't really know. We haven't really seen a lot of Austin, and he had that nice moment on the racing group date with Jenn. But besides that, we haven't seen a lot of Austin. But he said he doesn't think he can give her everything these guys are able to give her. Said he doesn't think it's fair to continue this journey with her, and basically is saying it's time for him to go. Jenn's a little shocked. Said, did she not do enough, or was she not enough for him? Austin's very gracious while leaving, though, and says he believes that her husband's in that room. She says, what if it's not enough for Marcus, Sam N, Devin? I think coincidence that she said those three, or is that who's immediately comes to her mind when she's thinking like, oh, am I enough for this person, this person, this person? Just something to note there. Marcus, Sam N, and Devin, which from her connections to this point, we can kind of tell that those are three of the main ones that she's had the strongest connection with. But just a little note there. Jenn says she hasn't shared this with the guys because she thinks it breaks the mask of being confident and strong that she always has on and puts out there. But I think her opening up to the guys, if she chooses to, would be confident and would show her strength that she has. She says, I see a future at the end of this, but she can also see a future alone, that nobody chooses her. Dylan says to the guys that Austin had expressed his doubts and hasn't got a chance to explore his feelings, basically. Jenn comes in, feels like she's failed, though. Doesn't want to show a part of her that's insecure. But Jenn does open up to the guys, and it sparks Spencer to say how it was brave of her to open up and to do what she's done to this point. Sam speaks up as well and then pulls her for a talk. Marcus and Jenn have a nice chat as well, uplifting Jenn. Jenn says, if there's someone I can rely on, it's you, to Marcus. Devin says how deserving she is, and if he can't show her, someone here will. She doesn't give out a rose because she doesn't feel it's fair of how everyone kind of was there for her and uplifted her. Next day, we got Grant's one-on-one after an emotional night for Jenn. They go horseback riding. Jenn says how there is a lot of pressure on this date due to how strong her connections are after realizing that last night, and she hopes they can get there. Grant does a good job of, checking on Jenn after hearing about, how she felt last night. They go horseback riding, and they end up having a little, picnic, I guess you could say. Starts raining. They grab an umbrella as a rainbow shows up in the sky. So that could be a good sign. We go to the night portion. Graham's able to open up about his dad who struggled with addiction and how he felt lied to a lot. And how recently his dad had checked into rehab, and at the time of, this filming this, which was end of last fall, his dad had been 2 months sober. And Grant says how his goal is to be the man his dad wasn't. Jen is able to open up about how her dad took off and her mom had to take that 2-parent role on. Also about how she felt shut down and would be gaslit, that racism was fake, and that she felt silenced and chained up in her previous relationship, and how she, didn't know how to stand up for herself. But now she knows how important it is in a relationship for her, and how she can stand up and speak up. Jenn feels aligned with Grant, and she gives him the rose at the end of the date. Cocktail party time. Grant tells the group he generally feels he's falling in love with Jenn. Feels made the room a little bit more tense, though, because the guys are all worried about time. And speaking of time, Jenn ends up coming in and saying she doesn't feel it's fair to have a cocktail party because she knows what she wants to do, basically. The guys are worried, as I said, about not having enough time with her to this point and getting to open up everything that they wanted to with her. Grant was emotional outside talking with Jonathan, actually, about how it's never happened like this, about, feeling in love like that, and how he said it in front of everyone, so it's just kind of out there now. At the rose ceremony, our guy Dylan goes home, and I'm starting the campaign right now. Dylan for Bachelor. Obviously, he was our pick to end up with Jenn at the end of this, and I think from everything we've seen from him this season, he's a really, really good guy, and I think that he would make an awesome Bachelor should they go that route, but obviously still plenty of time before we get to that decision. Still have the end of the season to go, and in the trailer, it looks like for sure Devin gets a hometown, with him kind of picture outside a house with a sign in the back, like a welcome home sign, like a very homey sign. So you can tell that looks like a hometown for Devin. Then we see a scene where Marcus says he's not there yet in terms of giving her all the love in the world that she deserves, and that he's struggling currently. I couldn't tell, but this possibly looked like an overnight date, like a dinner portion before an overnight date. I could be wrong. Jenn tells Sam that her cup isn't being filled. Seems like they're having a tough conversation. Earlier in the trailer as well, we saw Jenn and Sam getting very cozy in a radio booth with Jason and Molly, obviously formerly on the show. But here she's telling him that her cup isn't being filled. Then we see Devin crying, and Jenn is asking, obviously this is, edited. We don't know who she's talking to, but she's asking, when are you going to get there? Tomorrow? Never? And then Jenn says, which is this the scene we seen at the beginning of the season in the trailer for the season. Jenn says, I'm done letting men dictate my relationships, as Jesse asks her, are you sure you want to do this? And are you okay with whatever happens? Then Jenn tells someone, I can't let you propose to me. Whoa. So what a preview for the rest of the season. And we're probably about at the halfway point in terms of episodes. Going forward, we're down to about 7 guys left, I believe, after this week. So it should be an interesting finish going forward as we come here down the stretch run of Jenn's season of The Bachelorette. And she's been killing it so far. Obviously, in terms of big picture, our guy Dylan, who we picked to end up with Jenn at the end of this, just went home. So going forward, where do we sit at? I actually got some changes in the rankings. I like where Jonathan was heading after this episode. The trailer could be throwing us off a little bit. But I really think all these guys, even some guys like Jeremy, who we haven't seen a lot of this season, haven't got a one-on-one or anything, I think all of these guys have a decent shot to end up with Jenn at the end of this. I think Devin is kind of ahead of the pace. Sam, as of right now, I don't think she'll end up with Sam, though. I still love our guy Spencer too, but I just not a lot of momentum, kind of the same thing we saw with Dylan. And then Marcus too, like a lot of good stuff from Marcus, vibes continuing to go up with Marcus. But I don't know, that trailer got me a little nervous about Marcus, especially if, he's not able to give her everything that she needs. I don't know. Is it true? Maybe she, that what they're teasing in the trailer, will she not let anyone propose to her? Will she not end up with anyone? Kind of what they're hinting at. Is that actually true? It usually isn't, but, could it be? I don't know. I'm not predicting that yet. I won't get there. I'm not predicting that yet at all. Obviously, I don't know any spoilers either, so no spoilers on my end, but I don't know. Be interesting going forward. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.